everyone. Are you ready to dive into something really interesting today? You sent us some really fascinating sources about the future of the internet. And, well, something that keeps popping up is the role of AI.
Right.
Yeah. And it seems like there are two big paths we could go down. You know, either AI dominates the internet or it enhances it. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it is a really big question. One of the sources you shared said that by next year, get this, over 90% of online content could be AI generated. It's a pretty wild thought, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot. Like almost everything we see online would be made by AI. So are you guys ready to explore what that world might look like? I mean, how did we even get to this point?
It is pretty wild when you think about it. You know, the internet hasn't always been this massive digital world, right?
Right.
I mean, it actually started as this super secret military project in the 60s called ARPANET.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was all about, making sure computers could talk to each other securely, especially during, Cold War and all that.
So it was like this exclusive network for computers to share secrets.
Basically. It's pretty far from what we use it for now.
I mean, that's amazing. From secret military project to cat videos and online shopping and everything else.
Yeah. Things really started changing in the late 80s and early 90s. The internet went public and it was like someone opened the floodgates. The World Wide Web was born. And then we had search engines, websites, even those first clunky online stores.
Yeah, I remember those.
It was a total digital revolution.
It was. It really was. And then came the giants, like, Google and Facebook building these massive platforms, connecting billions of people.
Exactly.
And that brings us to today, where AI isn't just working behind the scenes, it's like front and center, creating content, crunching all this data, even predicting what we'll do next.
Yeah, and it's everywhere you look online now. Think about when you finish watching a video and those suggested videos pop up.
Yeah.
That's AI. Or how your social media feed just seems to know exactly what to show you, right?
It's kind of creepy sometimes.
It is. Even the news articles we read, they're probably chosen based on these AI algorithms.
Huh.
And then you have things like ChatGPT that everyone's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can write anything. Blog posts, poetry, even computer code.
That's kind of mind-blowing. Imagine having an AI assistant that can write a song or help you, debug your code or something. And here's where it gets a little, unsettling. What happens when AI starts making all the decisions? Like, what if these algorithms get so good at predicting what we'll do that they start influencing us in ways we don't even realize?
Yeah, no, that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
As AI gets more powerful, we have to really think about those potential downsides.
Okay, so let's dive into those downsides. One of the biggest worries from the sources you sent was this risk of misinformation and deepfakes. And we're not just talking about fake news anymore.
No.
This is AI creating these like hyper-realistic videos, audio that could fool almost anyone. I mean, imagine falling for a scam because you see a deepfake video of your bank representative asking for your account details.
Yeah.
Or even scarier, think about how they could be used to manipulate elections or spread propaganda.
Absolutely. When AI can create stuff that's, basically indistinguishable from reality, it's really hard to know what to trust.
Right.
And if we can't trust what we see online, it really undermines the whole foundation of the internet, as a place to learn and connect.
Yeah. And then there's the whole job displacement thing, right? I mean, we've always heard about robots replacing factory workers, but AI is automating tasks that were once thought to be, uniquely human, like writing, design, even coding.
Right.
One of the articles you sent suggested that by 2030, millions of jobs could be lost to automation.
It's true that AI will probably change the nature of work as we know it. And yes, some jobs will become automated, but we should remember that AI can also create new opportunities and change existing roles too.
So instead of AI being a job killer, it's more like a job transformer.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
It's still a little scary though, right? Like, how do we even prepare for a future where AI plays such a big role in the workforce?
I think a big part of it is adaptability, like lifelong learning.
Yeah.
We need to be open to learning new skills and new knowledge as the job market changes, And we need to focus on those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate, like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
So it's not just about learning how to code, it's about learning how to be human in a world where AI is doing more of the technical stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the jobs of the future will probably need people with a mix of technical and human skills. And those who can adapt and learn will be the ones who do well.
All right, so we've talked about misinformation, job displacement. Is there anything else we should be worried about with AI and the internet?
Well, there's also the worry that a few powerful companies could end up controlling, the AI that shapes the internet. We're already seeing this a bit with companies like Google and OpenAI. I mean, if a handful of corporations control the AI that powers, search and content and all these key aspects of the internet, well, it could really limit innovation,
Yeah.
And it would give them a huge amount of power.
It sounds a bit like a digital monopoly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where a few companies control all the resources and everyone else has to play by their rules.
That's a good way to put it. And when you think about how much we rely on the internet for everything these days, for information, for connecting with people, even for our jobs, well, this kind of concentration of power is concerning.
Yeah, for sure. So it seems like we're at a bit of a crossroads with all this. On one hand, AI has this incredible potential to make the internet even more amazing,
Yeah.
connect us in new ways, give us access to amazing tools and information. But on the other hand, there are some serious risks if we're not careful about how we develop and use it. It's like we're standing at the edge of this vast, uncharted territory, and we have to choose our path really carefully.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. We need to be really thoughtful about how we integrate AI into the internet. And we need to have these open and honest conversations about the potential benefits and the risks. The future of the internet, maybe even the future of humanity, depends on the choices we make today.
Okay, so we've explored some of the potential dangers, the perils of an AI-powered internet.
Right.
But before we, spiral into this like full-blown digital dystopia, let's shift gears a bit and talk about, the flip side, the hope. Because there are some really exciting possibilities if we use AI wisely, right?
Absolutely. And that's what I think we should talk about next. Instead of this AI-dominated internet, imagine an AI-augmented internet. Where AI is actually used to enhance our capabilities and create a more personalized, efficient, accessible online experience for everyone.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Tell me more about this augmented internet. What would that actually look like?
Well, imagine instead of being overwhelmed with information every time you go online, what if AI could filter out all the noise and just give you exactly what you need when you need it?
Okay.
Imagine the internet is like this personal assistant that knows what you are interested in, and it curates your online experience based on, your goals, even your mood.
So instead of me endlessly scrolling through social media or, trying to wade through pages of search results, the internet would kind of come to me. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that require the AI knowing, a lot about me? What about my privacy?
That's a really great question. Privacy is something we have to be really careful about.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine if you could control exactly what data you share and set really clear boundaries on how AI uses it. You could have all those benefits of personalization without sacrificing your privacy. It's about, finding that right balance.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So beyond just filtering information, how else could AI enhance our, online experience?
Well, think about the creative possibilities.
Okay.
Imagine if AI was like your partner in the creative process, helping artists and musicians, writers, anyone really, to just push the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're learning guitar, right?
Yeah.
What if AI could help you write a song or generate a custom backing track based on, your style?
That would be amazing. I'd love to hear what an AI would come up with. It's like having a band in your computer.
Exactly. And this isn't, just science fiction anymore.
Yeah.
AI tools for creative stuff are already out there.
Yeah.
And they're getting more powerful all the time.
Right.
Imagine filmmakers using AI to create these stunning visual effects.
Yeah.
Or, architects using AI to design buildings that are, both beautiful and functional.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting more on board with this whole AI augmented internet idea. It's sounding less like a dystopian nightmare and more like a tool we could use to do some pretty amazing things.
And it's not just about individual empowerment. AI could actually help us tackle some of these really big challenges that humanity is facing right now.
Oh, okay.
Imagine using AI to develop new medical treatments or to fight climate change or even improve global food security, things like that.
AI could help us solve some of these problems that have, stumped us for years.
I think so. AI is already being used to analyze these huge data sets and find patterns that humans would never be able to see. And this can lead to, breakthroughs in all kinds of fields, from medicine and engineering to economics and environmental science.
That is pretty incredible. But we also talked about the potential for AI to be controlled by, just a few companies. How do we make sure the benefits of AI are shared with everyone and that it doesn't just, make existing inequalities worse?
That's where this idea of decentralization comes in. Remember, we were talking about blockchain earlier.
Yeah.
Well, what if we use that technology to create a more distributed and democratic AI ecosystem?
Okay.
So instead of a few companies controlling the AI that powers everything, we could have a whole network of AI systems that are owned and controlled by lots of different people and organizations.
So instead of a digital monopoly, we would have more of a level playing field where everyone has access to the power of AI.
Exactly. And that wouldn't just be good for individuals. It would make the internet more resistant to, censorship and manipulation too.
Okay.
It would be much harder for anyone to control or shut down a network that's spread across thousands or even millions of computers.
Okay, this is starting to sound like a real game changer, but let's be realistic. I mean, building a decentralized AI ecosystem, that's a pretty ambitious goal. What are some of the challenges in making this vision a reality?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest ones is technical. It's not easy to build a secure and reliable decentralized AI network, especially one that can scale to, millions of users. It's going to take a lot of collaboration and innovation from experts in computer science, cryptography, and all these different fields.
So it's not just about writing code, it's about building trust and cooperation between different groups of people.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings up another challenge, governance. How do we govern a decentralized AI ecosystem? Who sets the rules, and how do we make sure these systems are used ethically and responsibly?
Those are some really important questions. It sounds like we need to start thinking about these things now, before decentralized AI becomes, a reality.
Right.
That way we can avoid some of those problems we've seen with these centralized platforms.
Exactly. We need to have these open conversations about the values we want to, build into these systems and the safeguards we need to put in place. And we need to involve lots of different people in this conversation, ethicists, policymakers, even everyday citizens. We all have a stake in shaping the future of decentralized AI.
This reminds me of something you said earlier about AI being a tool, right?
Yeah.
It's not inherently good or bad. It's how we use it that really matters.
I agree.
And with decentralized AI, it seems like we have this chance to create a more equitable and, democratic digital landscape.
Yeah.
But it will take a lot of planning and collaboration to get it right.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. Well, we've talked about a lot of, big ideas today, from, the scary stuff about AI to the hope of an AI augmented internet. But I think it's time to bring it back down to earth a bit. Let's dive into some of the specific ways AI is already shaping the internet today. That sounds like a great plan.
All right. So, we were talking about how AI could totally reshape the internet, but I think it's time to zoom in on what's happening right now. Like, how is AI changing our online experience today?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest trends is this explosion of AI-generated content everywhere. We've talked about ChatGPT a bit, but there are so many AI tools out there that are creating everything, from blog posts and marketing copy to even music.
Yeah, it's almost like everyone has this, secret AI assistant just churning out content. But is all this AI-generated stuff actually any good? Can it really compare to something made by, a human?
That's a really good question. I think some people argue that AI-generated content can sometimes feel a bit formulaic.
Yeah.
It can lack that spark of creativity, that special human touch that really makes something stand out.
Yeah, it's like those AI-generated recipes you see online, They sound delicious, but then you make them and they just taste, I don't know, kind of bland.
Exactly. But, on the other hand, AI can be this incredible tool for creators. Imagine using AI to brainstorm ideas, or to get over writer's block, or, even to tailor content for specific audiences. It could free up human creators to focus on the things that AI can't do. Like adding those unique personal touches and that emotional depth that really connects with people.
So it's not about AI replacing humans. It's more about AI and humans working together to create something even better.
Yeah, precisely. And, as these AI models keep getting better and better, we can expect even more innovative uses for AI in content creation in the future.
Another area where AI is having a huge impact is in search. It feels like Google is constantly rolling out these new, AI-powered search
Yeah,
features.
absolutely. Search is really being transformed by AI. We're moving beyond just, matching keywords to really understanding what you're looking for when you type something into that search bar.
So instead of just looking for pages that have, the words I typed in, Google is trying to figure out my intent, like what I'm really trying to find.
Exactly. They're using AI to analyze all this stuff, from the context of your search to your past search history, even your location, things like that. And all of that helps AI, give you more relevant and hopefully more helpful results. It's all about, anticipating your needs before you even know what they are.
Wow, it's almost like Google's becoming this mind reader, hopefully a benevolent one. But speaking of, Google knowing a lot about us, this level of personalization, it can feel a bit intrusive, can it? What about the privacy implications of all this AI tracking our online behavior?
Oh, for sure. Privacy is a huge concern.
Yeah.
And, the more data we share online, the more powerful these AI algorithms get. So, we really need to be aware of how companies are collecting and using our data. We need to push for more transparency and control over our digital footprints.
Yeah, it feels like this constant balancing act,
Yeah.
between the convenience of these personalized experiences and the importance of, protecting our privacy.
You got it. And it's a conversation we really need to be having as a society. I mean, what level of personalization are we comfortable with? What are, the trade-offs that we're willing to make? These are big questions, but they're so important to address as AI becomes more, integrated into our lives.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the potential risks of AI to the hope of, an AI augmented internet. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key message you want our listener to take away from all of this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the future of the internet is not, set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the technologies we develop, and the conversations we have. So it's really up to all of us to be informed, to be engaged, and to, speak up for the kind of internet that we want to see.
So it's not about predicting the future, it's about creating it. And that's pretty empowering, isn't it? We all have a role to play in shaping this digital world that we live in.
I think so. And I really encourage our listener to keep learning about this. There's always more to learn, more to discuss, and more ways to get involved and make a difference.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into AI and the internet. It's been an amazing conversation. And remember, the future is in our hands, so choose wisely, stay curious, and keep exploring.